This just might be a one-time trail for me. Hello folks, how's everyone doing today? Today we are going down a new trail. It's called the Harrison North Rail Trail. We're starting in a little tiny place in West Virginia called Spelter. This is the Spelter Trailhead. And we're going to hopefully wind up in Northview, which is part of Clarksburg, West Virginia. It's about a 6.7 mile ride. We're going to be going down and back. This trail is a little bit different than most of them that I ride on. We had a terrible rainstorm over the last couple days, and it was accompanied by a lot of flooding. Even in the town that I live in, we saw a whole lot of videos on Facebook with the water just rushing down the streets. So it's very fitting that I'm going to try and go out this trail, which doesn't look like it is kept up all that well. I see a bunch of pretty big stone. Looks like it'll transition down to a finer stone, but it doesn't look like they cut much. I've seen some pictures of this. I've never been on it, and it looks like it even goes down into a single lane path at times. So I have no idea what I'm going to get myself into here. This just might be going above and beyond the Call of Duty. But that's what we're here for. And those big rocks are a little tough. So away we go. I've heard that, I haven't heard, I read some reviews of this trail. Unfortunately, about the newest one that I could find was from 2017. And they were complaining about a bunch of houses that line this trail in a certain area that is overrun with dogs. So we may wind up having to run from some dogs at some point. This could go one of two ways. This could be one of the coolest trails I've been on so far, or it can be one of the most messed up and scary trails. We've got some private property here on our left, and I have no idea what it is, but it's been cut clean of clear cut of trees. Got a bunch of little butterflies following us. Man, they are everywhere. Pretty interesting. And they seem to be interested in the electric bike. And they're following us. I don't know. Today must be butterfly hatching day. So they're all over the place. maybe that, I hope that's a good omen, and this is going to be a good ride for us. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of high water because this trail goes along the West Fork River. I had to cross a bridge to get to this trail, and usually the West Fork River is pretty small, but it is very high today. How are you? At least there's some kind of human life out through here. But I tell you, this is very overgrown. And we've got a puddle. All right. Once we get back in these trees, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit muddy in places. A tree cover, since it covers up the sun, stays pretty dark in these woods. Yeah, definitely getting some sloppy weather, swampy terrain. Yeah, this could get interesting, folks. Got a big boulder laying down here. So this trail is definitely the most off-road looking trail that I've been on. And I can see a little bit of the river way off into the trees to my right, but I don't think it'll show up on the camera if I point you that direction yet. But I know we'll get closer to it at some point. And we've got a big water hole. Yeah, I think we'll try and just go around it a little bit. Probably should have worn my older shoes. Yeah, this is definitely some different terrain here. This is mostly dirt with some rocks and things here and there. It's hard to tell, man, where some of these. Let me take a peek down this way and shut, just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at. First of all, there's a little trail that cuts through here, and it's rutted out pretty good, but it goes up on the mountain. Looks like water has been running through here pretty good over the last couple days, and another rutted out trail. And at the bottom of it, I don't think that's the river, but a very big mud hole. So we've kind of come to a little bit of a crossroads out in the middle of nothing. I brought my hunting knife with me just in case I run into something that I'm not ready for. Because if something happens out here, there's going to be not much help. Although fortunately, my wife and I are on this, I don't know what this app is, a 360 app, but it locates you wherever you are, kind of like a GPS. Sort of like the Find My iPhone app. But you can keep track of everybody in your household where they are, so if something happens, she'll know where I am. As long as I have service, I guess. But yeah, this is definitely different. And hopefully I don't get any flats with all these random pointy looking rocks sticking up, because I don't have any tools or patching equipment with me. And I know I should start riding with some. I'm gonna have to. I like to travel pretty light. People have asked me the types of accessories I have for my bike. Well, the only accessories I have is a mirror, which I need to adjust actually. Is a mirror and a different seat. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got a little bit of wheel spin. A little bit of wheel spin there. Oh my, this is some off-roading here. Uh-oh, let's see what happens. Oh God. Okay, I got my good shoe all nasty already. So this stuff is slimy. And I'm using throttle like a motorcycle through here. Oh my goodness. I'm too old for this. What'd I get myself into here? Alright, this 6.5 miles is going to take me all day. I need to stay my rear end up in the northern part of the state. Head north instead of this stuff. Here's the funny thing too, when I hit that puddle, I wanted to ease through, and there goes. I wish this camera had a wider view. There went a big deer down over the bank here. But it just raced down through there. And here's a tree that somebody has cut out of the way. I don't know, guys. This is supposed to be a bicycle and walking path. And everywhere I look, there are these types of things where I can know people are riding motorcycles, three-wheelers, and this thing is almost straight up and down, but maybe you can see the river over there. Somebody's been down in here cutting trees. I'm not sure why, along the riverbank. But that river is usually almost looks like a creek. Today it looks like a huge river. And over here is another place where somebody... Did you hear that? Almost sounded like a hawk or something. Holy crap. I hope the camera's picking that up. I can't see anything up in the trees. But here's another, looks like a hill climb somebody's been using. Alright. Oh, there it goes, yeah. I don't know if you can see, it was a big old hawk. So I don't know if you can see this, guys, but my tires are filthy already. I don't know if Lectric was made for mud bogging or not, but we're going to put it through its paces today. And I'm going to have to keep my eye on this volts because I'm having to use an awful lot of volts. I'm using a lot of throttle getting through this stuff. I need to wash my tire off before it gets all caked up. But the last time I tried to go through a puddle, this one looks fairly shallow. It was so deep I about lost myself in it. Well, let's continue. I really should have known that this would probably be a tough trail given the rain that we've had. Yeah, here comes a daggone four-wheeler. Oh. Hey. Alright, I'm in a spot now. Let's see if I can get across. Okay. Oh. Alright, this is a little bit fun, but it's almost like driving in the snow. I hit those puddles and I just start slipping all over the place. So those guys aren't supposed to be out here with four-wheelers, but some parts of West Virginia is like the Wild West. You just don't know what you're going to find, and there's just not going to be anybody out here anyway, or anybody patrolling. This is kind of reminding me of southern West Virginia where I grew up. Every day is an experience. I have to say, this has got to be a pretty good test for the good old Lectric here. Oh my goodness. Here I'm coming to a nice big puddle. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go through, guys. It's scary to go through those because you don't know if it's a hole, if it's got ruts in it. And I'd rather not wind up laying in one of these puddles. Yeah, I can see me having to give the bike a good bath when I get home. This is the kind of area that you just don't know what you're going to run into. You might run into a bear, a bobcat, a mountain lion. You just have no idea. Goodness sakes. Again, those big holes like that, I just don't want to mess with too much on a bike. Now, back when I was a kid, my cousin and I would have loved coming out through here on a bike. I'm just not as flexible and stuff as I used to be. You know, back when you were teenagers and stuff, we were kind of like rubber people. Nothing would hurt you. Not anymore. My wife and I were laying in bed last night, and I told her today was supposed to stop raining and I was going to need to get out and do some riding. And we were laying there kind of looking at our trail app, trying to get some different trails, some a little farther away from the house. And we came across this trail. Oh, and there's another trail down here that I almost went on instead, and it's a little bit west of Clarksburg, but that trail is about 70 some miles long, and it goes from Clarksburg all the way to Parkersburg. So that's not a trail that I'd be able to do on this electric bike without another battery. Well, I mean, even with another battery, that's just a little bit long to not be able to have a charge. But I'd have to have somebody come pick me up somewhere. Or I guess I could just go out, you know, until my battery's about half gone and then go back. Guys, here we go. This is I'm using my throttle through this stuff so I don't have to pedal and get my good shoes all in the daggone dirt. I know this mud is probably getting on my brakes. Oh. Man, this is taking just a little bit of effort and a little bit of skill to keep from falling over. And I'd say this trail is a little bit more suitable for some sort of an ATV. Maybe I should go back to my house and get my four-wheeler and bring it back. Join those guys or something. I don't know. But it kind of looks like it's starting to open up a little bit more. And there are trails all through these woods that are probably ATV trails. You know, one of the comments, I think it was Pedro, he had mentioned something about, you know, maybe being able to ride these trails between towns here. And some of them you could, at least one way, and then if you were at work or something, you could charge a battery for the trip back. I could probably do that going from Fairmont to Morgantown, which, when I'm not working at home, my office is in Morgantown, and I could possibly do that. Now this trail, from the looks of it, it goes from Shinston down to Clarksburg. And here's a little pond over here. It says private property. It's got a little dock. I guess people fish off of that. I have to say, we got some pretty big rocks in the road here. Yeah, this probably isn't the trail that my wife would enjoy. Now there's a daggone road going up through there. I don't know how you have a bike path and have regular roads just branching off of it. Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But we're out here to explore, I guess. So. Oh goodness, here we go again. I'm just going to go through it. One of these days that's going to catch up with me, I'm sure. Or one of these times. But yeah, I would not recommend this as a trail for my wife and I to ride. This takes a lot of concentration, good balance, and just being able to control this heavy bike. It is a little bit more difficult when you start sliding around to grab on and keep it from flying out from under you. And I'm not out of the woods yet, because that still could happen any time. I've seen some videos with guys trying to take these bikes down mountain bike paths. This right here is about as rough as I would want to do on this thing. Oh. Because there's nothing smooth at all about this path. Let me tell you. And I have to tell you too, if some kind of wild animal comes out of these woods, I don't know how fast I'm going to be able to get away from it. So I maybe should have brought more than just my hunting knife with me. It's a big hunting knife, but I don't know if it's big enough. I don't know if this camera's picking up the squeaky sounds like bouncing. It's not the bike. Bike is solid. It's my Cloud 9 seat. I loosened up the springs a little bit to give it a little bit more bounce, since I don't have a shock post on this bike. The trade-off is it has that little bit of a squeak to it, but it's a lot better ride than if I had it really tight. And it's getting a workout today. Another thing that I'm noticing are the pedals that come with the bike. Once they get wet like they are right now, your foot tends to be kind of tends to slip around on it a bit. So if you don't absolutely need folding pedals, getting new pedals might be a pretty good upgrade. Although they might have folding pedals that have really a little bit better traction. But I don't know, I really haven't looked to see. I just want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of how steep this bank is beside me, so I can point you up. I mean, that is pretty much straight up and down. I mean, this is really cool scenery, but it's also very wild scenery. This is the type of stuff you see in West Virginia, though. Now, if you're a big-time mountain biker that likes a challenge, this is a good trail for you. It's not too long, but it is full of stuff just like we're getting ready to come up on. Oh gosh, here we go. Whew. I tell you what, having this throttle is awesome. If I would have pedaled through that, I would have probably dragged my foot in the water. Okay, here we've come to an intersection. This is what the trail says. It says multi-purpose. You can hike, you can ride horseback, or you can bicycle. I don't see anything about a motorized or a gasoline-powered vehicle. Then you turn around and you've got a road going up that way. I guess it's possible that it's a bike trail. Then you've got a path going up that way. And again, these might be paths that you can mountain bike on. Okay, I'm used to hunting, so I'm used to looking at tracks. And you probably, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, you can see four-wheeler tracks coming down from there. And I see a sort of a street sign up here. I'm very curious about that. It's a pretty steep rock hill, but I think I'm going to try to go up there on my bike and see what that is. What else should we be doing on a Saturday, huh? But exploring. Now, I'm going to gear down a little bit. I'm going to put up the pedal assist. This motor's a little bit pissed at me right now. Hey, now this, what the heck? We're on a regular road now. All right. So this little road here is actually called Penny Lane. Comes a car. I'm going to take a look at my map and see where in the world we are. We're more than halfway to the end of this trail. I've got 51.6 volts. So I'm still on the plus side of my volts. Here comes another vehicle. I'll let them pass. And then we'll go back down Penny Lane. They must be Beatles fans. Yeah, this is a very steep hill. I'm not sure what kind of a title I'm going to put on this video, but so far this trail, I may have to call it off-roading with Lectric. Oh my goodness, this is some pretty big gravel. the kind that kind of worries me if one of them is sticking up and has a sharp point on it. Check this deer out. You guys see that deer? He's looking at me like I'm looking at him, wondering, what are you going to do first? Who's going to move first? Look at this little shed out here. I don't know. That's a big deer, though. I don't see any more around it. Oh, it just snorted at me. Usually if they're does, they're kind of travel together. Usually the bucks will be by themselves, but I don't see any horns or any black spots on its head, which would tell me that horns might be growing. We'll leave it alone for now. Yeah, there's just all kinds of roads that come onto this trail, so I don't know who they're trying to fool by putting up bikes and hiking. And then you've got what look like cars going in and out of this place. Let's take a quick look here. Got a little waterfall coming off the mountain. Coming through a drainage ditch. Then it comes out this side. And you can see how muddy the river is. And it's out of its banks. Yeah, that river is super high. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, this is definitely the weirdest trail I've ever been on. It's almost like certain sections of this trail is able to be used by vehicles, and other sections you're kind of not. So it's kind of hard to regulate who's supposed to be on these trails and who's not. We've got a road crossing. Oh, it's nice being on pavement for just a minute. Uh-oh. We're down to about 50 volts. Been riding almost an hour, 55, 56 minutes. And I've only covered 4 miles. That is the shortest distance I've covered in an hour ever. When I first started this trip, I didn't think battery life would be too big of an issue, given that this trail is only a little over 7 miles one way. But again, this just shows the terrain has a whole lot more to do with it than probably anything else, honestly. Because even as a big guy, if I'm on flat ground and it's a paved type surface, I could easily get you know, 20, 25 miles out of a battery, no problem. But on this trail, man, I'm gonna wind up being lucky if I get back to the truck, which will be about a 14-mile ride. And all of a sudden we just hit paved road. Oh, and let me tell you, I feel like giving somebody a big kiss after the terrain I've been going through, to finally have some paved surface to ride on. How are you? Pretty good. Uh-oh. Guys, we actually made it. We made it to Northview, which is Clarksburg. Oh, I've never been so happy to see Clarksburg in my life. I guess while we're here, we might as well take a quick look around. For those of you that saw my video when I ran into what was used to be an old coal mine, and a bunch of coke ovens back in a little hill right down from the coal mine. I think it was when I was riding from Morgantown down to Prickett's Fort. It's a two-part video, and there's a part 2 as well. Part 2 is where I hit those coke ovens. At first I thought it had something to do with the glass, because West Virginia's used to be a big glass making state. But right here in Clarksburg, I don't know if you can read that up there, but this used to be one of those glass companies that made glass. Looks like Forco Glass Company, sheet glass. Now it looks like it used to be King's Tire Service. But just like coal, the glass industry has pretty much gone away from here as well. But a lot of people around here worked in the glass industry. My wife's mother grew up over in Grafton, West Virginia. They had a big glass company over there, and she used to actually blow glass, make pots and things out of glass. Pretty interesting stuff. I kind of hate to go back down that path so quickly with that dog. That man had an umbrella trying to shield his eyes, so that thing must be a killer. So I don't know. I hate to make him go off the road again and hold that thing, but I don't know if I have enough battery to really ride around here too much. Okay guys, I'm heading back out of Clarksburg, heading back up toward the truck. Back on this Harrison North Rail Trail. And I'm going to hate passing these people with this dog again, because I can tell it does not like people very well. Look how steep we are. We're up on a hill. Can you see down through there? That brown stuff is the river. I mean, we are way up here. I know we climbed a hill getting up here, but that is pretty steep down through there. Now we're back on this crush stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, that dog does not like anybody besides its owners, I tell you. I'm going to be going back through that mud, those mud bogs, and who knows what's going to happen going back. So that could be even more interesting than the first part. One thing I found going through these puddles is you don't want to have it any higher than pedal assist 1, because if you have it on 2 and you start to pedal, the thing will spin and it'll want to swing the back tire out from under you. So pedal assist 1 is more of a gradual power, so having it on 1 so you can use your throttle if you need to, and if you want to pedal as well, so that it doesn't totally go crazy on you. I'd love to go flying through those puddles if I had any idea what was under them. But this isn't the place to have bike problems and not have anybody out here with you. I can see those four-wheeler tracks that go out through here, and they try to go around them, and I'm sure they're a lot more familiar with this trail than I am. So if they're not going to go through them, some of them, I'm not going to either, especially on a two-wheeled bike. This one I may not have a choice. Lucked out on that one. The sides were just too steep to try and go around. That would have risked sliding the bike out from under me. And some of these you could almost take a bath in or swim. Ugh. Oh gosh, here we go. The trick to going through those two, it might sound counterintuitive, but I try to go through the deepest part. And you're probably asking, why wouldn't you go through a shallow part? Well, I would be afraid of there being some sort of a little ridge where a tire track has gone through. If I catch that ridge again, take the wheel right out from under me, kind of like whenever I had that bike wreck and hit the lip of that sidewalk, it just kind of takes your front tire and goes with it wherever it wants. And those deeper parts, it feels to me like it's more of just a dip rather than there being some kind of an edge that I have to worry about. At least that's my thinking while on a two-wheel vehicle. If I was on a four-wheel vehicle, I'd probably try to go through the shallowest part, and I still do to some extent. But you kind of have to, that's why I'm going so slow, you kind of have to survey the puddle before you get to it. You can kind of read maybe how the ground is underneath it some. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. All right. I had it in pedal assist 2 there for a minute, but once those puddles came up, I had to throw it back to pedal assist 1. Oh boy. Got a little minefield here. Back to pedal assist 1. See if we can maneuver around these things. Looks like those guys in the four-wheelers were climbing that mountain right there a little bit. Man, this is rocky. Oh goodness, I'm getting up on this hillside. I don't like that too well. Oh. Let's see, I can go fast. If you're going to go up on a hillside, it's a little bit better to go faster. So you have some momentum. Oh, my heavens, that's crazy. But I tell you what, these fat bike tires, so far, they've gone right through this sloppy stuff pretty good. Try to clean off a little bit. Go through some of these little puddles. Another thing that helps is to take your feet off the pedals. If you feel it starting to get slippery on you, and just stick your feet straight out. That gives you a lot more balance. Oh my. So this is that fence we started out on, so the truck's just on the other side of this little hill here. Hopefully we get back and the truck's still in one piece. I don't know about the area that I left it parked in. Hopefully it'll be alright when we get back. There's no way I'm making it back to the house on this bike. Let's see the gate. It's a groundhog. Scared him off the trail. And there's the truck. Good old red. Whew. Guys, I tell you what, that is about the most work I've done on a trail. Let's take a quick once over. Yeah, we got pretty muddy. Even though I tried to dodge most of everything, for the most part. This is why I like calipers on a bike for the brakes instead of using the rim, because look at that rim. The caliper's clean as can be. Of course it probably has a little dirt on the brake pads, but that's okay. Well, anyway, that's our ride. Let's take a look and see what we have. We still have 47.8 volts, almost 48 volts left. I think 48 volts is about half. Or so, maybe a little more than half, 47 point something. We were out about 2 hours and 12 minutes. And we traveled about 12.5 miles according to the bike. Let's pull up our app and see what it says. Okay, here we are. So the app says 13.9 miles. The bike says 12.5. Now, so we lost about 1 mile and 4/10 on the bike versus the app. One thing I can contribute to that is going through that mud. We did spin the tires a bit. That might have something to do with it. A lot of crazy riding. We had to go around puddles, which, you know, the GPS may see us as going straight, where we were actually going around puddles, and that could have added up quite a bit. But all in all, that was a pretty fun ride. I don't know, I think it might be one that I'd ride again. Not right away, but I'd definitely ride on it again if somebody asked me to go out. Anyway, this is the end of the video. I appreciate everybody hanging around with me. Until next time, everybody out there, have a good day, have a good week. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.